Hello, welcome. In today's video, we'll briefly talk about the new Citron update, explain why I've been absent over the past week, and practically speaking, answer a question many of you have been asking. With Sudachi's return, is it worth switching back to it or staying on Citron? First, let's talk about what happened to me. If you watched my last video, where I discussed my new setup and showcased the difference the CPU makes in emulation, you may have noticed, or read in the comments, that my average temperature while running emulators exceeded 80 degrees Celsius. For example, while running Xenia with Gears of War 2, my CPU reached an incredible 95 degrees Celsius. Although thermal throttling didn't occur, it was a concerning issue that I needed to resolve before producing more content. I tested various solutions, such as increasing the fan speeds and water cooler pump settings. I even took the PC to a repair shop, but everything was assembled correctly. In the end, I updated the BIOS myself, and now the temperature no longer exceeds 80 degrees Celsius during gaming or 85 degrees Celsius under extreme stress tests. Considering Brazil's heat and the fact that this CPU handles up to 95 degrees Celsius well, I'd say the problem is resolved. However, this situation cost me a lot of time and even some sleepless nights. Now, regarding the new Citron update, version 0.4 has arrived, and I recommend updating immediately. Versions 0.2 and 0.3 had many regressions due to changes in the code, Vulkan, and new shader compilers. Version 0.4 fixes these issues. It restores compatibility with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, where characters previously didn't display correctly, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which had missing textures in the underground, resembling an infinite void, and improves compatibility with Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Other games may also have received fixes and improvements, but they still need testing. Before you ask, why SX Nordics and Zelda Echoes of Wisdom remain unplayable? Both continue to face issues. However, Shadow Generation has regressed in Ryujinx, making Citron one of the best options for running it without complications. Regarding version 0.4 improvements, there have been advancements in buffer cache, which fixed Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. The initial shader loading screen was redesigned to look more modern and polished, and memory management was enhanced. Zephyron has also shared a new commit with me that will bring further advancements in memory management, allowing games to run with just 2 GB of VRAM and fixing memory leaks. The Nvidia RV service was also improved, boosting compatibility and optimizing shader compilation. Now, addressing the question about Sudachi, yes, it seems Jared has resumed updates, but he mentioned he's only fixing minor issues and doesn't intend to dedicate as much attention to the project as before, due to community toxicity, something many of you are already familiar with. As for the new versions, the main change was the removal of the option to install games directly on the NAND, which had already been discouraged since Yuzu. There were also fixes in Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, although some reports indicate the game is still not 100%. Unfortunately, I haven't had time to test this game, even though I'm a fan of the franchise. Lastly, in the next version, there's a planned rewrite of a function called caps, which, according to the developer, will help improve emulation accuracy. Another question I've been getting a lot is it worth switching back to Sudachi or staying on Citron? Before I answer, if you're enjoying the videos so far, leave a like to help the channel grow. And if this is your first time here, consider subscribing to stay updated on all the latest news. To answer this question, there's no better way than comparing both projects with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom to see which one delivers the best performance. But before diving into the comparison, an important warning: the NANDs of both projects are no longer compatible. This means that if you used to move the user folder from one emulator to the other to keep your settings, it will no longer work. On Citron, Sudachi's NAND still functions normally, but if you use the NAND on Citron and then try to return to Sudachi, the emulator may crash on startup. Directly comparing the games, the first thing I noticed is that, without a doubt, Citron compiles shaders much better than Sudachi at present. This becomes evident when looking at the 1% low metric, which measures performance drops. In practice, this difference translates to much smoother gameplay on Citron. It's as if Sudachi has been left behind in terms of shader compilation. Regarding emulation accuracy, both are at the same level. However, another point that caught my attention was VRAM usage. Sudachi allocated 2.5 GB more memory, exceeding the limits of a standard GTX 1050. This difference can impact those using GPUs with less available memory. Additionally, there's an FPS difference. Citron delivers about 10 more FPS compared to Sudachi. It may not sound like much, but considering the game runs at 30 FPS on the original console, those 10 FPS represent a 33% performance improvement. Another detail is RAM usage. which is slightly lower on Citron, showing it is more resource efficient. With all these points in mind, it's clear that Citron is my choice. It not only does everything Sudachi can but also does so in a more optimized and efficient way. Keep in mind that these results were obtained on my hardware, and your experience may vary. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.